So I was on Reddit the other day and I stumbled across a post on the Miraculous Ladybug subreddit that really drew my eye. It was a panel from an official Miraculous comic book. A panel that I personally found to be ridiculous, creepy, and honestly sort of racist. So shout out to that post for inspiring this video. And so, yeah, this got me sort of interested to hunt down those comics to see if they were actually legit. And so that's what this is today. It's kind of like one of those episode reviews I do for the show, but this time it's for the comic books. And screw it, comics aren't that long. We'll do as much as I can find online, because apparently they're both out of print and also have been taken off websites and whatnot. So whoever made them lost the contract. Must be terrible then. So the first issue starts out with a comic adaptation of the Miraculous Tales from Paris webisode Repetition, where basically the story is that Marinette is a social failure. What else is new? So she's bad and awkward at life, to the point that she's unable to ask a picture of Adrien out to the movies. Not Adrien himself, but a picture. She's able to say it out loud. Adrien, do you want to go to the movies with me? But when Tiki holds up a picture to practice with, she crashes and burns like a fool. I feel like they repeated this later in the show. But yeah, yikes, I didn't need this at the start of the comic. It was very lame and made worse by the fact that the drawings were very bad. Well, bad for a professional comic. Like, I'm not being a hater or anything, but this level of artwork here in that prologue extra chapter, it was bad in comparison to the actual comic. It felt like somebody might posted this on Reddit. Good for someone that's posting on Reddit, but not for something you have to pay money to look at. And anyway, let's put that trash in the rearview mirror and take a look at the first issue, Replay. And yeah, still looks kind of budget in my opinion. Like, it's not as bad as the prologue, but still kind of sucks. But hey, so does the actual show itself, at least in terms of its visuals, so it kind of fits the vibe. But yeah, we drop ourselves into the middle of a game of lacrosse. I think they're playing lacrosse, but I gotta say, playing lacrosse on concrete? Yikes. Also playing inside the school, where there are breakable windows. Double yikes. And of course, Adrien's there, and he's the king of this rather niche sport, at least niche in France from what I understand. And in particular, he is blitzing this dude named Adam, who's on the other team, and who in turn is getting roasted by his own team for losing so much. Like, straight up, in the panel, they audibly call him a loser. And so I think he smacks Adrien with his stick, his lacrosse stick, which in turn gets him fouled out of the game. Whatever stick he used, he probably deserves to be fouled out of the game for using it. Although I gotta say, why he didn't try to whack his teammates, I'm not quite sure. Why there seem to be no teachers at what I can only assume is an school versus school game of lacrosse, teachers who could intervene and stop those dudes bullying Adam so openly, that's also something I don't understand. Where are they? Hell, they're playing at the school. Where are the officials? Come on now. Just a referee? And the referee's not doing jack shit? Oh. And so obviously the dude gets akumatized, and from here it felt like the visual quality degraded even further, like became very ridiculously ugly here. I honestly find it a bit embarrassing they expected people to pay for this stuff. Like, imagine buying this comic book, you're excited to see the franchise in this format, you love comics, only to see artwork of this level. How depressing. But yeah, he transforms, is beaten more easily than any other villain in the franchise ever, and then he apologizes to Adrien after they've restarted the match and his team gets destroyed. I guess they never really resolved the real reason as to why he was mad, but okay. And then Adrien has a romantic dream about Ladybug to finish the comic. Yep, this sucked. The opening is meant to be very good to draw people in and get them to keep buying the issues, but this was just trash. The weakest plot, the battle was bad, they hardly showed anything, they had more panels dedicated to the hero transformations and de-evilizing the Akuma than they did to the actual fight, which is usually the best part of the episodes and is a massive draw in comics. Like, I just can't imagine spending money on this and this being the end result. Like, it's nothing problematic yet, it's just dog shit. That's the first issue though. And so here we get to issue number 2, which seems to be the first part of a longer running arc, so let's just keep going, shall we? For starters, is it just me, or have they changed the art style slightly yet again? And it looks very cheap. Starting to think that this comic never made it past issue number 5 for a reason. Anyway, we start off with a bit of exposition about what a Kwami is, which I don't even know if they'd even covered this in the show by the time this comic released, so if so, you know, this is needless exposition, but if not, this is actually pretty interesting stuff. Wild that they put it in a comic first. Although I do have a question, because in these panels, Master Fu explains to Marinette that not every emotional trait has a corresponding Kwami. Like, there's no kind Kwami, there's no cruel Kwami. because nobody's like that innately, not by their own nature. You learn that. Although I would say, I kind of think some people are just like that. You know, those awful serial killers you read about where you watch the documentary about their life and crimes, and literally every single person that ever met them, their parents, their siblings, their teachers, all of them say, oh yeah, they were always evil. You could just tell there was something behind their eyes. They were born that way. Killing animals, doing other wacko stuff. So yeah, sorry, Foo. I think you're wrong. I think there is an evil serial killer Kwame out there just lurking. Hope so, at least. I don't know why I said that. Anyway, Marinette then gets a call up from her friends and realizes that she's late to their swimming meetup on the Isle of Swans. I gotta ask, I've never actually questioned the fact that there's a beach in the middle of Paris, but do people actually swim at this place, like for real? Because I googled this Isle of Swans. It doesn't seem to have a sandy beach vibe like that, at least from all the shots I saw. Plus, the river itself that runs through Paris is apparently very foul and polluted, and swimming has been banned in it since the 20s due to the risk of sickness and the risk of getting hit and killed by boats. Wasn't this comic written by a French dude? Shouldn't he know this shit? And they're just splashing and playing in the river. Ugh. Having lived in a river city before, and knowing how bad that river smells and how foul it looked in a city that is nowhere near as big and industrious and busy as Paris, no thank you. Yuck. Anyway, apparently this whole get-together is to wave a banner at Adrian telling him to have a successful photo shoot. Why? I don't understand why they're doing this, because he does these photo shoots daily. Why does he need extra support this time? I mean, I'm sure he's going to be fine. But yeah, off Marinette goes to change into a swimsuit, and Chloe decides to be a bit of a creeper and reach under the changing tent and steal her clothes while she's half changed. So she seems to be in her underwear and a t-shirt. I don't know, man. This feels gross, almost dirty. Like, I don't want to read that. I mean, normally I'd give them the benefit of the doubt here that, you know, they're not trying to be creepy, but pretty sure in a later issue there's a whole story thread where Marinette's naked wandering the streets of New York City, so I don't know, this feels kind of sus. And so, yeah, Marinette's stuck. Nobody goes to help her. We see Super Penguino make his debut like 2 years before he appears in the show in Oblivio. So, if nothing else, this comic is a treasure trove of Easter eggs for later seasons. And yeah, at this point, our villain appears out of the blue. He's a water villain called Silurus? I don't know. And frankly, I don't care. He's Fishman to me. And so Fishman summons a bunch of giant carp, I think, and one of these giant carp lands on Chloe, and well, I'm pretty sure that normal-sized carp have teeth. I googled it. They seem to have them, and they can, like, bite you. And, like, they're gnarly looking just for that size, so a carp that big enough to engulf her and swallow her whole, surely she'd be dead now, right? They can bite. She's gone. Rest in peace, Chloe. And nothing of value was lost. Maybe that was a little too edgy. Like, whew. Edgy as all hell. Anyway, Marinette transforms, Cat Noir transforms, they battle this dude, and compared to the last issue, this fight is cool. I mean, it happens way faster than battles ever occur in the show, and it's restricted to this one place, but yeah, it's much better than before, where they hardly showed the battle at all. Anyway, it's revealed that this dude's a loser who got akumatized because he was annoyed he got splashed with a beach ball. Pfft, dweeb. And so they fix everything, on they go, but before Marinette can get changed again, she gets sucked through a portal with Cat Noir into New York City. She meets the United Heroes, many of them looking a little bit different to their final designs in the New York special, and they reveal to them that New York is under attack by the Trash Kraken. And so they need these two rookie heroes from France, of all people, to help them out. Weak. Honestly, they have Superman and Batman right here. I mean, Majestia and Night Owl. And they can't get the job done themselves, even with help from the Justice League. United Heroes. Honestly, cringe. And so this leads us into issue number 3. And for me, this is where things started to go completely off the rails into insane territory. I mean, it was already bad, but this is just horrific. For starters, having used their power recently, they're about to de-transform, so they both run off, and when questioned by the others, they tell them, oh, we just need a moment of privacy, 10 minutes tops, which leads to Sparrow, although I swear they wrote it as Birdie in one of the previous panels, to quip, oh, they're so French. What? Am I dumb? What does this mean? Les poissons, les poissons. At first I figured, oh, it's kind of rude to ditch out like that with little explanations. So are these Americans just being like, oh, classic rude Frenchies, yuck? But then I thought, no, Surely not. Like, surely that's not the joke. I looked at Majestia's face. She seemed a bit like, oh my. I thought about the context of it all. 10 minutes tops. Do these dudes think they're running off for a quickie? Is French people being overly horny a common stereotype in America? I honestly don't know. What the hell is this panel? If it's not either of these two things, what is the joke? I feel like an idiot. But if it is my wild hypothesis, I gotta say, what the hell, asterisk? Yeesh. Surely it's just about them being rude and running off. Surely. But still, something feels off about everything here. Anyway, they scatter. Ladybug detransforms and falls into a dumpster filled with garbage. Well, she'd better go to the hospital. Rats, piss, shit, used syringes, all commonplace in the urban dumpster. And she was like fully submerged in that. And for some reason, she's also completely naked. 1, gross. 2, why? Why is she naked, asterisk? I saw her wearing her clothes inside that changing tent. She took off her pants, she was in her like underwear shorts and a t-shirt. Where'd that shit go, man? Why is she naked? This is deeply suspicious. This is gross. This is weird. It is like some odd fetish fanfic. She's gonna stumble around New York until she happens across the handsome older man or something like that. That's what it feels like, you know? No thank you. It's just yuck. And then she immediately runs into a bunch of black dudes and blasts them with the instant racist microaggression of, in fact, it's not really even a microaggression, it's a macroaggression. She says to these dudes who are just moving boxes into the back of their truck in plain sight, "Oh, are you guys looting this building?" Loot. But anyway, it turns out they're all heroes. And all of these heroes, none of whom are white, by the way, are dressed up stereotypically and have names that really... Why would you write these down? Public Enemy? Ghetto Blaster? Absurdity. Absurdity. Also, why did they have this dude, Public Enemy, who's supposed to be a hero, getting really close to and openly grabbing the shoulders of an obviously naked teen? This whole scene, it feels like malicious racist stupidity. And also it's just creepy given once again, she's like 14 and naked. Oh, it is definitely some writer's fetish fanfic repurposed for a comic format. They've just changed the ending of how the scene usually goes. And so they then dress her up, and surprise, surprise, she is also dressed in the most stereotypical outfit in the world. Oh my god. Anyway, she comforts a kid called Kenya, who's obviously meant to be important to the story, but let's not linger on that. As after bumming a snack off the heroes, she leaves after telling them she's off to save the world. And do you know what they say to that? She's so French. What does this even mean? What does it mean? What does it mean? I feel like an idiot. Someone tell me! And so off she goes, and we get a look at Adrian instead. And the dude stuck in his bathing shorts, which unlike Marinette's clothes, did not seem to disintegrate to give him an awkward moment where he's wearing a box around his waist. Guess nobody thought that a naked guy is quite as funny as a naked teenage girl. It's weird how that works, isn't it? The dude meets some rude rich people, they brush past him, the limo driver gives him some food to help charge up Plag, and it turns out you can just feed them anything. You don't need to feed him cheese, you don't need to feed Tiki baked goods. They're just picky. And then when Plag sooks about not getting to eat any cheese, Adrian tells him to suck it up because cheese isn't a specialty in the United States of America. Shots fired! And whilst that might be a common occurrence in the United States, it's still crazy to me. Like, yeah, their cheese, their dairy, it might not be of the highest quality, but the classic American yellow processed slices,
64 slices of American cheese.
And the gelatinous ooze I was served with my nachos at Fenway Park. I feel like those are some of the most iconic cheeses of all time. Just for meme value alone. Real talk, they actually do kind of taste nice. Sometimes cheap is yummy. What can I say? Adrian, you're a snob, son. Ugh, he's so French. Am I right? Did I do it right, asterisk? Am I getting the joke yet? What does it mean? They power up and they return to the heroes, with Superman being annoyed that they're late. Robin then justifies it by saying they're young and they're French. And then Batman complains that they're too French. Piss off, Batman. Anyway, Captain America then turns up, and she's also the President of the United States, and she wears a disguise even though she doesn't need to wear a disguise because she'd already announced that she is Captain America when she was running for election. And I guess she won by a landslide because who wouldn't vote for Captain America? A super soldier president who fights monsters and beats up the bad guys personally? Hell yeah! Only the racists would be mad at this. Although it makes no sense that Marinette and Adrian would be even shocked about who she is though, because they recognize her as the president when she gets off the chopper, so wouldn't they have also known she was a superhero? Like, that would have been international news. In real life, it was a massive news when a reality TV mogul became the president. A super soldier hero? This would be even bigger than that. I guess these kids really are just stupid. Or so French. We then learn about the monster, Trash Kraken, or whatever. It's basically a giant garbage monster, like a stink spirit from Spirited Away. Bros trashed the city and even had the NBA championship game cancelled. Yeah, right. The Knicks or the Nets making it to the championship match? I think not. That's the most unrealistic part of this superhero comic. And yeah, anyway, so the president's plan is to assemble all the world's heroes, have them dive bomb the monster, which will in turn cause an explosion that she estimates will defeat the monster, but also will wipe out over half the USA. So I'm thinking the East Coast, much of the Midwest, the South, the majority of the US's population centers, they're just about to be nuked. And then they're just banking on the off chance that Marinette can use her powers to fix everything. And if not, well, I guess Los Angeles is going to be the new capital of the USA. And bad luck to places like Quebec and whatnot. You're in the blast zone too, son. Oh, and probably also tsunamis for Europe. What is this dog shit plan, Prez? Like, even in today's horrific day and age, what president would think it's a good idea to kill most of their own country to kill a sludge monster who hasn't even made it out of one city yet?
We've tried nothing and we're all out of ideas.
So Ladybug and Cat Noir, realizing that the sludge monster is also Kenya's dad because it has the little squid toy, run off to fight the monster and stop the nukes, and Batman and Robin come along too. And why is there lava in the fight pit with the monster when the crack in the earth is only maximum like 300 meters deep? I mean, and that's if you take what Captain America said about the depth being a couple of 100 feet as accurate. A couple of 100, generously we'll say 999 feet, is 304 meters, which is like a fifth of a mile. And usually lava is like much deeper than that, thinking like 100 miles deep. Otherwise, good luck building skyscrapers with multiple basement levels. It's just stupid, honestly. And then they confront the monster, and it's time for issue number 4, which I could not find online for free. Or even pay for it because, like I said, it's out of print and everything. Shit. Anticlimax. I guess this is now an unexpected 2-parter video. The next one will come when I actually manage to find this issue, so it'll be at some point. But yeah, what the hell is this stuff, man? Like, it's gonna be the weirdest comic I've read in quite a while. Didn't even have the same vibe as the show. It felt like a different franchise almost. Just nah, it's no good. No good. But I am a glutton for punishment, and I want to finish reading this Trainwreck series. I don't want to just read the synopsis online. I want to actually see it and experience it. So we'll end here. And with all that being said, these have just been my opinions, and now I'd like to hear yours. If you've read these abominations, these crimes against humanity, what were your thoughts? Did you like them? Did you hate them? I'm curious for your thoughts, so make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know.